What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gaige. This is episode number 80 in the studio, brought to you in part by Cito Huntington. Are you a member? Visit Cito.com and join today. And J&M Seafood of East Northport and East Setauket and Volpe Marine. Head over to VolpeMarine.com. What's up, guys? We are back. Unfortunately, due to the weather, I'm sitting in the studio because it's raining out there today. It's been blowing. I can't wait for this wind to stop. It's ridiculous. But I did tell you that. In May, you're going to be lucky to get 2 weeks of boating in. So you got to pick your windows. Like there's a window to go out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Tide will be perfect. Or we can go out at 5 o'clock in the evening time, and the wind looks to be pretty good. So I'm going to try one of those two. But that's what you got to do. You got to pick your windows and get out there. The bass are here. They're in big numbers in my area. The bite's been incredible. Howie in the club, he picked up a 50-pounder on top water. So it's been, some days you get out there, it's lights out. Some days you get out there, you see them stacked, and they're not exactly chewing everything you're throwing at them. So you really got to change it up. I did hook up on Saturday with a silver floater spoon. That was getting it done. So, and I heard chartreuse was working too. So you really got to change it up and have the different colors available. If they're not hitting what you're putting down and you are seeing the marks, maybe you switch up the colors. Want to give a big shout out to Dave and Brian over at Salt Mafia. Want to thank them for the conversation that we had, and saltmafiagear.com. Head over to that website, guys, and check it out. Brandon actually showed me the hat. He had it in the shop when I was over at Causeway. And I got to tell you, it's probably one of the best hats I've ever seen. As far as water repellent, floats, I mean, everything about it was unbelievable. So you could go check that out at saltmafiagear.com. So back onto the bass here, because not everybody's got their boat in the water. You know, they're all starting to trickle in. I texted Jim, forget about it, in my marina yesterday. I took a picture of his boat because I saw it get delivered and came into the slip. John was down there. He was on his boat and getting ready to get out there. And, there's a big buzz about the league right now. We got a lot of people in the league. April, you had winners for April already. So the 2 weeks of April, guys did get out there on bass. And again, there wasn't a lot of people fishing because they didn't have their boats in the water. I get it. You know, it's early in the season. It's only the diehard guys that get out there April 15th. They'll get out for that April tong bite up until April 30th. Which was pretty good in our area. But the winners of April got Tony Maja gear. So you guys will all receive your Tony Maja gear. Let's see if I can remember the names of the teams off the top of my head. You had in the open division, you had Net Results. Team Net Results was the winner in the open division for Region 1. Region 1, you had the Family and Youth division. That was Team Clueless. And on the South Shore, Region 2, Family and Youth Division, you had the Offshore Syndicate. And in one of the solo divisions, I know we had Casting Craig. So Casting Craig, great job. You guys are going to be the winners. Now, Craig, you are in the solo shore division, so you won't be getting Tony Maja stuff. We'll be getting you some Go Deep MTK lures that you will be the recipient of for winning April. So great job. Get out there, guys, catch the bass. You take a photo of it with our measuring device. You submit it to the league. We accept it, and the points go on the leaderboard. And that is how you will win the month of May. It doesn't get any easier. There are 3 regions, 5 divisions, and it is absolutely on fire. So if you want to compete, if you're in a competitive spirit, you want to do a tournament, this is not a tournament. This is all season long. This goes until December 15th. So that's longer than I keep my boat in. I pull my boat out in November. So I'm not in the water in December, but Manny is. Everybody knows Manny from the West. And he's in December. So I'm going to have to go fishing with him in December. But Manny, you can come out and come fishing with me. As soon as this wind dies down, find your windows, come out, open invite. Frank's been out with me. I told you last Monday, me and Frank got out there. You know, and this is so true. Me and Frank got out there with Pat in the bay, and it wasn't like glass. It wasn't. It was exactly what I was hoping for in the bay. We didn't get anything on the one pass that we made because we had to bring Pat back to the dock. So we brought Pat back. We headed out to the Sound, and before you know it, it's like a lake out there. And when that water is not moving and it's like a lake, I got to tell you, the bite is never on. The only time that I see it when it's like a lake and the bite is on is when it's raining and it's foggy out there, and that's why the water is laid down. And that's where I had the rain blitz of 2025. That was the most epic striped bass blitz I saw all year last year. And when that water's ripping, they are chewing. I'll tell you that right now. So if it's ripping out there, you want to go. All right. But be safe and pick your windows. This weather is incredible. I mean, it was blowing like 45 last night. I was going to do a PSA and put out an announcement to let everybody know to get down to the dock. Make sure your boat's tied up pretty good. You know, I made sure mine's tied up pretty good. That's for sure. But I just take mine off, untie them, and poof, we shove off. You know, everything stays on the dock. Spring tide, nice. Got fenders, got the dock fenders already on, so I don't have to come back. There's none of that. Nice and easy. Keep it easy and nice and clean. It's got to be nice and clean on the dock, you know? That's important. So, and speaking of clean, holy cow, I see some pictures of boats that I'm like, holy shit, that guy hasn't cleaned his boat in years. It's unbelievable. That blows my mind. But that's also fishing. Those are the fishing guys, you know? The two, Eric, I'm going to call it the two. I'm not even going to say the other name. All right. That was on the 38 outrage because now you got a 40-foot conquest. The two, it's going to be an immaculate boat. It's just how Eric keeps his boat. You come on my boat, you get on and you're like, wow, what year is this thing? You know, and it's like you keep your boat really clean. So I am this close to the first time in I don't even know how many years. My boat will be at 100%. I need the all-round white light cover up there that got knocked off by a tree because Ding Dong over here didn't take the Simrad bar down. Of course, I took the antennas down, learned that lesson once in my life. And the switch for the bilge has to get run up to the dashboard. Once that's done, which will be this week, I will finally say I am at 100%, and thanks to Andrew, best mechanic in the world, my boat is running optimal. It's running the best it's ever been. I got to say with the O2 sensor that he cleaned, 100% made a huge difference. I don't even think I'm burning any oil. I almost thought there was a problem. I'm like, wait a second, how come I'm not burning any oil? So, you know, it's a OX66. Yamaha, best engine they ever made, which is why it's still running and on the boat and doing great and gets up on plane instantly. We love it. The torque in that thing is insane. And when it dies, I'll repower. I'll do some, you know, but, you know, add new fuel pumps this year, you know, a bunch of things that had never been done. And now that we did them, I got to say, it's absolutely, I get out there and I'm so impressed. I love the way it sounds, runs, does everything. You know, I've always had the confidence to shut it off. And, you know, pull up, see the fish, shut the boat off. Got to be quiet, even though noise doesn't scare the fish. I don't know if you guys learned that yet. They have a device to put in the water that makes noise that attracts the fish. So there could be a lot of controversy there. I may have to pick one of those up and give it a shot. But speaking of picking up stuff and bringing it on and showing it to you guys, you know, I'm always shooting with GoPros. There's always GoPros hooked up on the console of the boat. I even have up on the Bimini, there's permanent things I could just go hook up to if I want to put them up and get the sides and whatnot. So there's always GoPros running. However, I was like, this year I'm going to try something new. And I got to practice at it because my first couple of times out, I didn't know if I was recording or not. And I picked up the Oakley Vanguards, the new Meta glasses. And I got to tell you, the last video I posted was shot with these, and it was incredible. I mean, there you go. You see the light on, so it charges in the case. I get phone calls on these things. The speaker on them is incredible. I was talking to Mike at Cito, and he thought I was sitting in my office. He goes, I can't tell you're on the boat right now. And you know, you hear them come on. They say 100% battery. You could change the volume on the side. So I learned all the tips and tricks about them because I was taking them off to look at the light and see if the light was on when they were recording. So there. Now the light's on. It's flashing and recording, and I could tell you it's on without having to take them off and look. So I learned all the tips and tricks about these things. But these were what I was shooting the last video in. That video got like 5,000 views on Facebook of just us bringing in a bass. And when I put it on like TikTok or Instagram, I love doing shit like this. So I'll leave the clicker on, not knowing what size this fish is, right? So I'll leave the clicker on the Avid and let it go. If this fish is going to run for the video, I want that clicker running, right? I want to hear it. That's everybody loves to hear the clicker going when the fish hits. And somebody made a comment about the clicker. You left the clicker on, so annoying. Rookie. And I wrote back, you know what's more annoying than a clicker? You, the guy that wrote it, who doesn't have a profile picture on his page. Don't even get me started. So anyway, love these things. These things shot a great video. There we go. I just shut the video off. What I got to get good at with these is the background and what I'm looking at so that I do not show you where I am and spot burn. Because that was very easy in the videos that I had, the video that I posted. So I had to do a little editing magic so you guys couldn't see exactly where I was. However, if you're in the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, you know exactly where I was because half the club was out there. All right. It was epic. The word was out. The fleet was there. Everybody knew they were there. And the night before, Howie in the club actually got a 50-pounder. So, John, I hope you get your boat back. I pass American Marine every day, so I could stop in there and check on it for you. Maybe drill a couple of, well, I wouldn't drill a hole in someone's boat, but maybe I could do, hide some bananas, maybe hide some Diet Cokes in the cooler. But yeah, I can't wait for you to get out there and get on them. You know where they are. I texted you before. If you're in the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, you're going to find out where the fish are because everybody in the club knows. It's no secret. And we want to share that intel and get everybody in the club out there and catching bass and having fun. Just spoke to Kenny. Can't wait to get out there with Kenny. Everybody knew Kenny over at Dick's Field and Stream. He ran the fishing department over there. I saw George yesterday. I actually stopped into the store on 110 just to see what was going on. I needed a case. I actually picked up the NLBN cases that they have so that now me and Corey can keep our NLBN lures in these cases as opposed to the fold-up bags that we have that we open up real quick and take out. So, because we love to use those. So they made a case. I pick up a couple of cases. We like to keep everything in cases. I've showed you the Nomad case for the vibes that I use. Stuff like that. But I'll have video of me and Kenny out there as soon as this wind lays down, catching some bass on flutter spoons. And one of the guys from my hockey team back in high school, Ron, asked me, what's the secret to flutter spooning? And I just said, doing it better than the boats around you. Because I'm always hooked up on the flutter spoon. And to me, that's a ton of fun. And, you feel them hit. You feel them miss. You're going to swing and a miss. Sometimes it's not even really swinging. You don't want to snag them. You want them to take it. But there's times where they come and they smash this thing from the side and they're nowhere near the hooks. They feel it and they let go, So you'll feel that hit 100%, whether you go letting it down, letting it out, or you're working it up. You're going to know that you got hit 100%. And that is what's so cool about it, But the other day it was retrieving it. It was bringing it up slowly, couple of cranks, letting it up and down, and coming up with it is when it got hit. There's a lot of times when you're letting it out. I mean, Kenny's got a trick on my boat. He lets it out and he catches fish with it all the time, more than most. My 13-year-old son, he catches fish on the flutter spoon more than most. In fact, he did it better than me, Corey, and Kenny the day that he came out. He was the first one to hook up on them with the flutter spoon. And that was pretty cool. That was last year. He actually had just turned 12. So what else going on? I mean, fluke season opened, but everybody's talking to those stripers. So I plan on putting on my wetsuit, getting in the water. Speaking of the water, it was 54 degrees out in the Sound. It fluctuated from 52 to 54. It hit some spots, 55. Now, remember, that's the surface temp. You know what I mean? But it was nice to see because May 3rd of last year, I had 52 degrees in photographs on my phone. Okay, so you go back to the captain's log and you look at stuff that you documented and you check the temperature, see how we're doing. And And last week in episode 79, I said, well, 7 to 10 days behind, but here they are. Big bass have shown up. So it's time to get out there and catch them up. The phone doesn't stop ringing. Guys are calling, booking charters, which is a lot of fun. People listen to the podcast and they realize, hey, we got a chance. We can go out with these guys. We hear what they're talking about. They're showing us the videos. We see that they're on the fish and we can book a charter and go out and have some fun with them. So come on out and have some fun with us. Join the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. I'll invite you out. I'm inviting everybody from the club to come out with us. Everybody will learn a thing or two. We don't pretend to know it all, not at all. We're always learning and using new gear. Me and Corey can't wait to use our glide baits this year, thanks to Brandon showing us that they were working and crushing it. I picked one up. Me and Corey picked them up at Port Tackle out in Port Jeff. So we do have to go fluking. I said I am going to put on the wetsuit and get in the water and check out, and I know where they are. I think everybody in my area knows where they are this time of the year, and we're going to go check it out. But Mother Nature's dictating when we can go fishing because it is the month of May. All right, so hopefully you survived Cinco de Mayo, you didn't drink too many margaritas, and you can still get out there. Now, one other piece of equipment that when I'm on my boat, now I didn't know how these were going to handle the phone call. I really didn't. It was amazing. Handled it very well. But if you have them loud enough, people next to you can hear them because they're playing in the bars that are going over your ears. It's not like you have something in your ears. So people could hear your conversation. However, when I am in full-blown action out there, I always tell you guys about the Blue Parrot headset that I have. This Blue Parrot headset is Bluetooth. I put it on. I mean, you could talk to it and tell it to call and do and whatever you want it to do. You don't even have to touch your phone. You put it on and the phone rings and you could just say, it'll say, you want to answer or hang up, and say answer, and it'll answer the call for you. But instead of saying you want fries with that, yeah, please drive up to the window. Would you like fries with that? So nobody would know you're on a boat when you have these on. Nobody. You can go 40 miles an hour. They're not going to hear it. The noise cancellation in these things is absolutely insane. But this is huge as a commercial tow captain to wear this, because now I'm on a phone call and getting a call to hit Latin launch and I got to go somewhere specific. And having this on your head really helps because you could hear everything. There's no miscommunication, and that's key to responding in a timely fashion. So, what else gear-wise? We haven't really been trolling. We went out with Frank and Pat, and we did pull the mojos that day. That was really all I brought as far as the trolling setups that we had. When we get out there with the charters that have booked us in May, these guys have been out with us. They come out, they book 4 charters a year. So we won't be trolling with them. We may start off on the troll, put them on some fish, get their arms tired, and then once we find them stacked up, that's when we stop and we'll drop down the vibes, the mini mojos, the NLBNs, and what else? We drop out in the Flutter spoons. So those are probably my 3 top go-to lures for the dropping and jigging. And this year, I cannot wait to use my Go Deep MTKs. I got a whole bag of them. I bought a bunch of them at the show. They had given us a bunch at the show. If you bought 3, you got 1 for free. So I picked them up at Ward Melville. Actually, Chris gave me a couple at Ward Melville, and I picked them up at the New Jersey Saltwater Expo. And I can't wait to throw those things. I really can't. I got a whole bunch of different sizes and colors. And as soon as I see the fish on top, we are on them. And we did see a few blow-ups out there, which is really what these are going to come in handy for. Because there's sometimes I'm looking at stuff and you see it and it's gone. But with the glasses, I'll be able to show you that, as opposed to having to go and grab a GoPro and point it at what was just happening. With the glasses, you just click the button, record, and it shoots in 3K. I got it set to shoot in 3K, which is really, really good quality. So I got to say, I'm super stoked with them. They work great. They're amazing, and I highly recommend them. You hear that, Oakley? You hear that? I'm recommending the Oakley Meta Vanguards. Obviously, you pick size, colors, whatever you guys like. Maybe these are a little too big for you. Maybe they're not. Don't care. Love them. And I just heard them turn on. You'll love them too, for sure. So one of my buddies here in the office, in the studio that I'm at right now, he wears them at his roller hockey games. And he gives them to the ref to wear during the game. And it films some of the stuff of him going and dangling and scoring some goals, which my son caught a video of me scoring a goal this weekend. We had a game Sunday. We won. And, it was pretty cool. 2-on-1, guy slid on the ice. Mikey gave me a nice saucer pass, and I buried it. So it was fun. Ton of fun. Love being on the ice. You know that. I'm on the water, I'm on the ice, and I'll be on the golf course. So if you guys are heading out for some drinks, let me know. I'm coming. I'm joining you this year. This is my year for Captain Gaige to be super social and get out there and have a fun summer. So with that said, I invite you to come fishing on the boat. You can invite me to come drinking wherever you're heading out to. Shoot me an invitation and say, hey, come on, we're all going over here. A bunch of salty motherfuckers are going over here to drink. Let's go talk fishing. And I'll be there. So we got the Bay Rats and Buoys second annual Striped Bass Invitational going down June 27th and 28th. Holy cow, that is just right around the corner. That's crazy. It's here already. So that registration is going to be available. It's up on the website now. You can go register for that at sandcitycharter.com, or you can go to stripedbassinvitational.com and register for the tournament. And we will work on getting you guys the tags like we did last year at the shotgun start. Maybe we'll give them out this year at the captain's meeting. So we're excited. It's going to be epic. Last year, it was our first year, and we had 20 boats. This year, we're hoping to double that and tag twice as many fish. So if you want to get out there and do something good for the striped bass, for the conservation of them, and make this fishery grow, come join the Bay Rats and Buoys second annual Striped Bass Invitational going down June 27th and 28th. The reason we made it a 2-day event, you get bad weather, you go out one of the 2 days. That's great. Or you go out both days. Somebody's going to win some serious cash, and that is thanks to J&M Seafood, the grand prize sponsor over at J&M Seafood of East Northport and East Setauket. You always hear me talk about Matt and the boys, Matt, Chris, Rich, Angelo, you name it. They got a great crew over there, and, we're just lucky to have guys like that involved with what we do. I'm lucky to have Matt in my marina. It's awesome. And we have a lot of great dudes in my marina. We really do. Guys and girls. So you ask me, there's nothing sexier than a chick that drives a boat or a truck or a motorcycle. So if you do any of those three, you are awesome. And it's really cool to see them out there driving the boats and doing the sailboats and everything that they do, because that stuff is not easy. It really isn't. So you really got to be into it. And I love when people are really into the things that I'm really into, which is why we created Bay Rats and Buoys, the podcast. And I can't believe how this thing grew and how we grew into a fishing club and a tournament. Now we launched a league that is doing phenomenal in the tri-state area. We're going to get out into Jersey because I got to drop off the flyers. I just got another batch. Another batch of flyers came in today. And they'll be going out to the local tackle shops, more of the local tackle shops, I should say, and the delis and the West Marines and the 7-Elevens. You'll be able to find them there. You'll see the signs on the windows, postcards on the counters, where they're allowed to be in most places. We appreciate all the help. Gold Coast Deli, Compass Rose, all the locals in the area, and over at West Marine. So we greatly appreciate the contacts and the connections that we have. And I never forget about the one and the only Rob over at High Hook, because we're always in there. It's a great place. It's right near my marina. They're open at 6 o'clock in the morning. So when, now that it's springtime, I don't know what the hours are to tell you, but I do know that once the season starts, he's open at 6. And that helps with us for charters and things that we do, if we need anything. So we love that about it and about Rob and High Hook. So we always promote the people that help promote us. And I got to say, he's done nothing but the right thing by Bear Rats and Buoys, Sand City Charter, and the Fishing League from the start. So thank you, Rob, over at High Hook. And again, just a quick mention to head over to the saltmafiagear.com and check it out, because, guys, when Brandon showed me that hat, I was like, whoa. I was like, holy shit, finally. They figured it out. This could be the best hat I've ever seen. So head over to saltmafiagear.com and check that out. So what else we got going on? I know Go Deep MTK is having something going on in Montauk. I can find out more about it. I'll talk about it in episode 81. I can't believe this is episode 80. I'm back in the studio. I am so pissed that I'm in the studio. I was on the boat yesterday. I'm big on swapping out rusty hooks and anything that, just changing things up. We buy everything in bulk, so we got a ton of hooks. I got my split ring pliers. Obviously, you get good at using those after a while. So yesterday I'm on the boat, and I got the equipment down there, and I'm prepared to do the podcast. I'm prepared to sit on a boat and do this episode. And it was just 16, 17 miles an hour. It was just, the wind was blowing. And I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't pay to sit down, do it, and then all of a sudden get home and find out that the wind direction was blowing right into the microphone, and it'll be the first episode that sounds like crap. So that would piss me off. So I said, you know what? I'm going to the studio today. It was going to be raining like it is. And I said, I'll sit down and do the podcast from here. But I promise you, they will be on the boat. I'll be on the tiki bar with Amanda doing a podcast. Again, weather put that off. So I can't wait to do that. We'll be out at the Montauk Canyon Challenge for 8 days doing the podcast this summer in July. Super excited about that. Hanging out with Chris and Rich and the whole gang at the Montauk Canyon Challenge. Who else do we want to shout out? Ethan over at Swivel Butts. Great product. We came across this product at the Copeg Fire Department fishing show. We set up a pretty cool booth there, the same booth we had at the New York Boat Show, and we got to meet Ethan from Swivel Butts. And he actually gave Corey and I one of the Swivel Butts. I mean, the cost of these things is like $400 a piece, but they are absolutely amazing. They are made well. They're made very well. They're made here in the U.S. He did a phenomenal job. A lot of work went into the engineering of this product. Who else did we meet at the shows? We met Jose and Louie over at NLBN. A great bunch of guys over there. And we had Game On. And we met the guys from Game On. We shot a few videos with Chattelors. We'll show you some of the spreaders and breaker bars. We made a cool video about those. We shout out to Justin's shop out in Port Jefferson for Port Tackle for the grand opening. We mentioned that last week. So if you're in that area and you need a good tackle shop to head in, go say hello to Justin and the boys over at Port Tackle in Port Jefferson. They took over the old McDonald's. I picked up a Ranger net and a pair of Grundens and a nice glide bait. They had the right size that me and Corey wanted. So we can't wait to try those things out and see how they do. We really can't. Corey had it in the water the other day, checking the action on it, and it looked pretty cool. It looks like I know why Brandon's getting crushed on them. So that's it on the forefront. That's what's happening here. Get your boats in the water, get them in the marina, get them in your slips, tie them up nice. It's windy. Make sure everything's working, and make sure the batteries, the bilges, you shut the switches off. You don't leave lights on. Things like that. Little things I could do to help you and remind you. But you shouldn't need to be reminded. Like, I have a set way when I shut the boat down, when I leave, what I'm touching and doing, that it's, muscle memory now. I do it, and I get calls from guys all the time. Hey, I forgot to flush my engine. Hey, I forgot to turn the light off. Hey, I forgot to do this. I forgot to shut my battery switch. Are you down there? Yeah, I'm down here. Of course I'm down here. Where else am I going to be? So from now until really the end of October, I'm on the water every day I can be. So if I'm out there 7 days a week, I will be. So if you want to come out fishing with us, that's great. Head over to sandcitycharter.com, fill out the form, and I will gladly get back to you, and we'll arrange a date and get you out there, get you on some of these striped bass. There were guys this week that reached out to me from Connecticut. They wanted us to come pick them up in Greenwich, and I was like, Mother Nature says no. It's not a otherwise, maybe I would shoot across and go fish that area because I know enough spots to go fish. I'm not going to pick you up there and go fish my area. You want to come fish my area, you got to drive over to my area to come out. We'll be happy to get you out there and put you on some striped bass and some nice ones at that. So we're excited. We really are. We waited a long time for the season to kick in. It was great sitting down on the boat yesterday. It was in the 70s. I was in shorts and a T-shirt. So I really felt like I was back in my happy place. So I hope you guys get back to your happy place, back on your boat. And that's it. We'll keep you posted, guys. I've just been having trouble getting through to the American Legion and setting up a date with these guys for the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club meeting. I'm going to have to find another place for sure so that I can get an answer the day that I call and I don't have to wait, for a call back because they don't go to the facility for 5 days. Who knows what the story is? You really don't know. So that's it. Episode 80 in the studio. Season 3. I can't believe it. But guys, we appreciate you tuning in and all the people that listen to the audio version of this. There is a video version of this. And now, Apple Podcast, we now have a video up on Apple Podcast because Apple they're doing video now. So it looks like they're taking the platform to another level and looking to compete with YouTube, which I got to say, the YouTube, it really is, it varies for a podcast because people want to listen to it. People tell me I wake up at 2:00 in the morning and I hear you in my AirPods. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? He's like, your podcast came on while, after another podcast that I was listening to, and I woke up listening to you. So I was like, man, I wouldn't want to have to wake up listening to me. That's the last thing I would want to do. But Apple Podcast does now have videos. We signed up for that. We did everything we have to do. So this video will be the first video that we submit to Apple Podcast. So I'll have to check that out. To all the audio listeners, there are video versions of this podcast. Everybody listening in all the 5 countries, my mind is blown. I can't believe it. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being loyal listeners. We will have a new batch of stickers going out. We'll have shirts. We will have merchandise. That will all be here in June and just in time for the summer. And that's it. Episode 80 in the books. Captain Gaige signing off, over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.